Dr. Capello and I have been, I'm Larry Durst. I'm a pharmacist and I have a master's degree in pharmacology. And I came from the dark side to the good side, which this really is. When I owned pharmacies and was practicing pharmacy years and years ago, I used to see people quite often suffering with side effects from many of the drugs and things that their doctors were having them on. So, I would always recommend to people, look, you're going to, with this drug, you're possibly going to have a side effect. I want you to take a multiple vitamins, some vitamin C, some vitamin E. I always gave people digestive enzymes. And my other pharmacist friends said to me, what are you doing that for? I said, because I'm trying to ensure the health of these people while they're suffering the deleterious effects of a lot of the medications. At that time, I wasn't looked upon very favorably by a lot of the sales representatives for the pharmaceutical companies. But I didn't care because I knew the truth. Okay, the next thing I'm going to speak about is this product that we developed when Dr. Capello was talking about oxygen levels in your body. The air we breathe used to be 75% nitrogen, 25% oxygen. With all the pollutants, toxins, and everything else spewed out by most of the factories around the world, especially here in China, the amount of oxygen in our air has gone down to 16% from 25%. So when you breathe, no wonder so many more people are suffering with COPD, emphysema, asthma, bronchial conditions, lung conditions, and allergies are worse than ever. People can attest to that. Can you hear me without the microphone? No? Okay. Better now, huh? This is God speaking to you. Yeah, but I don't. It may not work because we go all the way back. So that's all right. I can hold it. So what we have done is this. We found a company for whom we are the exclusive distributors of this product worldwide, at least in the United States for now, anyway. And we are signing a contract to be the worldwide distributor. They take regular water and distill it. Now, distilled water is dead water, so you do need minerals in your water. So we add a touch of Himalayan sea salt, which is the most mineral-dense substance that there is practically on Earth. So now you've got beautiful distilled water, clean, toxin-free, and minerals in it, which is the best of both worlds. Now, there are other products on the market, and I'm not going to name them, which have been promoted to alkalinize your body and to promote oxygen, but they have never done clinical trials. Everything we get involved with, because that's the way I am. I won't endorse anything that I know doesn't absolutely, factually, scientifically work. What this company does is they just take plain air from the atmosphere. They run it through a transformer. And when they run this air through a transformer, they actually take the O2 molecule, which is oxygen, and transform it into an O4 molecule by combining two molecules of oxygen consistently. They then run it through the water. And we now have a product that has O4 in it. And it's called Emergent Water Oxygenator. Now, how do I know that it works? Besides the science that we have behind it, we have clinical studies on it, and researchers have given it to their patients. And the best way to see if a product works is, it's harmless. Try it on somebody. So there are some people here whose oxygen levels I took, and I'll be glad to take everyone's. 98, 99 is where you should be. Nobody's 100% blood is 100% oxygenated. It's rare. So if you're not 98, 99, and you're 96 or 97, you're not sick, you're not ill, but you want to get up there. And you also want every tissue, your brain can't live without oxygen, neither can any of your organs. You can not, you know, people go on these starvation diets, thinking 100 days they're up in a tree or somewhere, and they're not eating, but they can't do without water and oxygen. You deprive them of water or oxygen, they will die. Not food, because they've got enough tissue in their body to support them for a certain period of time. So you want every organ in your body, and every enzyme system in your body, and every metabolic function in your body to work properly, and that's where the oxygen comes in. Bacteria, fungus, molds, viruses in your body don't live with high levels of oxygen. Rheumatoid arthritis conditions, fibromyalgia, diabetes, especially heart disease. Now think about this. Suppose your pulse is high. Your oxygen levels are going to be low. The reason your heart is beating more times is because there's less oxygen than what the receptors in your heart know the blood flowing through it. See, this is how complex our body is. They can detect the amount of oxygen. Your heart can detect the oxygen levels in your blood. When it's low, your heart's beating faster to try to increase your oxygen levels throughout your body. When you have high oxygen levels, your heart actually slows down because it doesn't have to work as hard, because you've got enough oxygen going through your body, which bathes every tissue and every cell in your body, without which they can't function properly. So one of the people working here 2 weeks ago had an oxygen level of 88. And I said to him, "What are you doing? What is your daily routine?" He was lifting weights. I said, "Well, you're burning a ton of oxygen." So I had him take coenzyme Q10, which increases the energy levels in cells, and 15 drops of this 2 times a day. His oxygen levels are now 98, 99. So we know that it works, but I had him use this before the CoQ10 because I wanted to make sure what it was that was going to do it. My levels were always 96, 97, they're 99. One day I took 15 drops, which it says to take in here in 8 ounces of water, but I put it in 3 ounces of water to get it all down all at once, and then drink a lot more water during the day. One day I actually hit 100 because I did this about 6 times during the day, and I felt like this because my oxygen levels were so high. I felt like the Energizer Bunny. I felt like running around, like, you know. But that's what your high oxygen levels can do to you. You must have good oxygen levels. There was just a woman here who I spoke to who had to leave. Her mother's in the hospital. She's on high blood pressure medication. They took this little simple machine, which Ray is going to have, which Ray now has in the store, called a pulse oximeter. And in the hospitals, you know, they're always checking your oxygen levels. And her level was 84. So she just bought 2 bottles of this because she's giving it to her mother in the hospital. She's telling her doctor she's taking this, no matter what they say. The fact of the matter is that everybody in this room, if your level is 99, that's right now. When you exert yourself, it's going to go down. So wouldn't you rather once or twice a day take a product like this, put it in some water that you drink anyway. I hope you're all drinking water and not, you know, not an IV of whiskey or wine in the arm. But keeping your oxygen levels up is essential to your health. Are there any questions?
You said, would you take it before you exercise or after?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what time of the day you do it, as long as you do it every day, at least once a day. Now, Ray is also going to be selling these oximeters for people to take home. And anybody who buys one today will get an extra $5 discount. I don't know what price he has come up with, but in order to get the best price to pass it along to you, he's got to order 36 at a time. So he's, people are signing up to buy them, I think. A sheet has been going around. And it's great to have them at home.
Are we going to get a discount on the stem?
Everything. Today you're going to get 10% off on Vitastem, on the water product, and the third product that I'm going to speak about, which is a product which is listed on the sheet as number 8, if somebody needs to lose weight. This product duplicates the way the body does it, and I'll explain to you. Yes, dear?
Larry, if someone has H. pylori, will
Yeah.
the Oxygenator help?
Yes. H. pylori is a gastric bacteria, one that is found present in almost everybody who has GERD. gastroesophageal reflux disease, or ulcers, especially. And they usually give people these packs of medication with an acid pump reducer and with an antibiotic in it. But yes, absolutely, will reduce the levels of the bacteria.
So just taking it twice a day would be good?
Absolutely. Yes, Arlene?
With the,
You notice I know the names of so many of these people because I love having them come into the store and working with me. Yes?
with this product help people with the chronic fatigue?
Yes, absolutely. That was the other, I'm glad you brought that up because people who have adrenal fatigue or chronic fatigue, one of the things that their levels are low on, they're usually low in oxygenation levels in their blood. And their organs, especially their adrenal glands, which become burned out with adrenal fatigue or chronic fatigue syndrome, are absolutely necessary to have more oxygen in the body so that I can distill my own water and add this product to it, which has all the minerals in it as well. Because I've been drinking distilled water. I want to tell you a little personal story for a second. I had a liver transplant 9 years ago. Why did I have a liver transplant? If I'm a person who's such a health freak, why did my liver fail? Well, things can happen to anybody. What I had was what was called biliary cirrhosis. My biliary tubes, which are the tubes leading from the liver to the gallbladder, and then which sends bile, which breaks down fat, to the gallbladder for storage, so that when you eat a fatty meal, the sensors in your stomach call the gallbladder and on the phone and say, hey, I need some bile, and they send bile over to help break down the fat. My bile ducts, for some reason, narrowed, and the bile backed up into the liver. Bile is as destructive as stomach acid. It burned my liver out. So I was very fortunate, and I'm now on the transplant board at the University of Pennsylvania Hospital. I work for Dr. Shaked and Dr. Otto. And I had a transplant down there. Today, because of my diet and my health, most people can't find it hard to believe, and for the last 4 years, I am on no medication at all. No immunosuppressive drugs, which most people with any kind of transplant have to be on. And that has to do with lifestyle. I get enough sleep, I drink tons of good, clean water, I eat red meat once every 6 months. I eat mostly chicken and a ton of sardines, which are loaded with omega-3s. I try to eat krill oil. Ray and I are both big fans of krill.
Especially for cholesterol.
Right, because krill and omega-3s are essential to keep your triglycerides and cholesterol where they belong. I take that whole food vitamin up front.
And when you buy your sardines, make sure you have the bone in it.
That's right.
It helps the bone marrow.
Because the bone has the bone marrow in it, which helps your immune system, and it's also got calcium, a natural form of calcium. I take a probiotic because I want the levels of the good bacteria in my body, the good guys up here, and the bad guys down there. I also take coenzyme Q10 because I want the tissues, I want the spark plugs in my body working properly. But for those people, and a lot of you people here know, because I've counseled you on doing just that. And I bet every one of you who has done what I've told you to do, take all these products, how do you feel?
Wonderful.
I know, they're Miss Rossi and her daughter, they're two people that I see all the time, and she had a lot of problems, and she's doing a lot better. There are so many great things we can do for your health here in this store that you're all going to be remiss if you don't listen to what I put on the sheets to purchase these products. Because it's better to spend your money on these products than on drugs, or seeing the doctor, or God forbid, getting ill. Are there any other questions? Well, it's been a pleasure to speak to you. You've been a great audience. Yes, I told everybody that Ray is going to have these.